It's Derby Day in the northeast with Sunderland hosting Newcastle United in the Women's Championship. It's a record-breaking afternoon here at the Stadium of Light with a new attendance record for this level of women's football set. The previous number was 11,037. Well, as of yesterday, there were 14,500 tickets sold, all adding to this fantastic occasion. Sunderland with a surprise package in the Championship last season. They were involved in the race for the promotion until the very end. It took them a while to recover from that, it has to be said. There were heavy defeats to Birmingham on the opening day and Southampton, but a victory against London City and a thrilling 3-3 draw against Charlton last time out means they come into the derby in more of a confident mood. And they make one change from that 3-3 draw against Charlton last time out. Eleanor Dale comes into the 11. She replaces Katie Watson. The summer signing Dale still waiting for her first goal of the campaign. As for Newcastle, well, their meteoric rise has been held by the backing of their wealthy Saudi Arabian owners. They lost to Durham in another derby last weekend. They make 4 changes from that defeat. Watt and Potts come into the back 4 against their former side. Sibley and Lumsden also start.
Number 8, Scarr. Number 9,
It really is a fantastic atmosphere here. The away end completely sold out, and there is expectation from both sets of supporters. Both of these teams evenly matched in terms of both being in mid-table. And before we kick off, there will be a minute's silence this afternoon in tribute to the former photographer Colin, who photographed Newcastle United and Sunderland, the men's and women's teams throughout his career. He was the official photographer for the Newcastle women's team in recent years, and he lost his battle with cancer, and so there will be a minute's silence before the game starts here at the Stadium of Light. The referee is Phoebe Cross. She will just bring the players together so we can pay tribute to Colin Locke, a massive advocate for women's football. Sadly, he passed away earlier this year. Well, a period of applause in the end for Colin Locke, and now the focus can move to the action. Newcastle, having won 2 promotions in 3 years, they've taken to life in the second tier pretty well so far. They've had victories over Sheffield United and Portsmouth. However, they arrive here on the back of their first defeat of the campaign. That was a 1-0 loss against another club from the northeast, Durham, last weekend. This game means more than just the points, though. As the players take the knee in a sign of solidarity against all forms of discrimination. And the Wear Time derby is underway. Both sides in their traditional colours. Sunderland, of course, in their red and white stripes. Newcastle in their black and white stripes. This is actually the first competitive meeting between these two clubs since October 2010. Sunderland ran out comfortable 4-0 winners in the FA Cup on that day. But Newcastle are a very different club now to the one they were 14 years ago. The last time they actually played was in a pre-season friendly. That was in August 2023, where Sunderland dispatched their noisy neighbours 4-2. Could be an opening here for Sunderland, but it's defended really well by Demi Stokes. One or a number of summer signings made by Newcastle, the England international, but this could be an opening as it's chipped goalwards, and Moan just did enough. As the break was on down the left-hand side, the effort deflecting off the goalkeeper. But McAteer found herself some room. Now can Sunderland make something happen from this corner? There's a bit of pushing and shoving in the 6-yard area, so the corner will be delayed. Now it's sent into the 6-yard box and came off the head of Stapleton. Newcastle able to clear. Possession recycled well by Sunderland, and McAteer tries to bring it down. Furness is there for Newcastle. And it will be a Newcastle throw. Dale unable to bring it under control for Sunderland, but possession given straight to Deer. As the ball is chipped in, and McAteer is there, and the foul is given. Or is it the flag up? It is offside, the flag up on this near side, but Moan, the goalkeeper, didn't look convincing as the ball was played into the box. Came and didn't really deal with the ball. Luckily for her, the flag was up. Claudia Moan, one of the players who has been speaking in the build-up, she admitted that the move across the northeast hasn't been easy for her, having received abuse on social media, saying that today will be one of the most difficult of her career. She stares down a sea of fans who once cheered her name. The majority of those here inside the Stadium of Light will be wanting to see her have to pick the ball out of the net this afternoon. Here's Lumsden. Decent delivery, it's headed clear. So many connections throughout both of these two sides with each other, including the two managers. Becky Langley, the Newcastle boss, was mentored by Mel Ray, who's in charge at Sunderland. Personal battles aplenty. Bragging rights on the line. The ball has been kept in play. Potts chips it forward. First attack for Newcastle. It comes down the right-hand side, but the ball in is too close to Demi Lambourne, and the Sunderland goalkeeper gathers. Moved to Sunderland from Crystal Palace in the summer. Spent a long period with Leicester City, Demi Lambourne. She helped them win promotion to the Women's Super League, and as you can see, both managers stood at the edge of their technical areas, taking all of this in. It's been a pretty even start inside the first 6 minutes here at the Stadium of Light. Lambourne's kicked forward. Lumsden has got support from Stokes. It's Stokes' cross that is blocked, and she does well to make sure that goes out for a corner, Demi Stokes. Placed her body in a good position. Vastly experienced player, Demi Stokes. Former Women's Super League winner. Making the move to Newcastle in the summer, but actually started her career with Sunderland. It's a dangerous corner that was whipped across the face of goal. Just ends up trickling wide. Was whipped in and attacked at the near post, and Rachel Furness's header wasn't too far wide. Stoppage due to an issue with Demi Lambourne at the moment. I don't know whether it's a problem with one of her gloves. Wait and see here, but whatever the issue, it seems to have been resolved. Both managers said that they can't treat today like another game. It is a special match for the area. At the end of the day, it is just 3 points that are on the line, but it's been such a long time that these two have faced each other in a competitive fixture. And with this being played on an international weekend as well, plenty of new fans here at the Stadium of Light that would usually follow the men's teams. They are getting behind the women's side, and if you are a fan of either of these two teams, a victory is a must. It can be a long week at work if it's a defeat. Foul has been given against Hales, has it? No, it's been given as a throw. Shania Hales has got an issue with her boot. Another one of the summer signings, Shania Hales, coming from Bristol City, already has found the back of the net twice this season, having scored against London City and Sheffield United, a Jamaican international. And campaigns with Bristol and Villa as their top scorer as they won promotion to the Women's Super League. And that is her target again this season with Newcastle United. And that's well read by Furness. Moves it forward, it's controlled by Hales, who holds it up and has support from Stobbs. Stobbs will hit one from range, it hits the defender, but Newcastle still in possession. Now the cross put into the box, Stapleton is there. Well, an even start. Both sides have had glimpses at goal. Neither have managed to break the deadlock as yet. Good footwork by Hales. Ball was chipped into the box. It's headed away by Goddard. And this is a good spell for Newcastle. Sibley. Did that take a touch off of the defender? It didn't. A goal kick's being given. Sunderland struggling to keep hold of possession at the moment. The ball was kicked straight out of play. Stokes takes the throw. It's controlled by Body. And the race is on here, and Dale does well, skips past Furness, Dale's cross. And it's put out for a corner. And she didn't have too much on in terms of support there, Eleanor Dale. She did really well to just hold up play, and then as she put the ball in, she wins a corner. Still waiting for her first goal in Sunderland colours in the Women's Championship. Dale wasn't able to get it into a position to get the strike away, and McQuaid does well under pressure. Hales can't hold it up. Stops with a crunching slide challenge, and now the break is on with Sibley. Free kick given away of Sunderland. It's a busy day of action across the top two tiers, with games in the Women's Super League and in the Women's Championship. It's certainly the most eye-catching fixture in the second tier. She just run out of room and then concedes the free kick. Tell you there has been an early goal in the Championship. Bristol City lead Blackburn by a goal to nil. Lloyd Smith, the goal scorer. Goalless in the other three games that kicked off at 2 o'clock, including here. Well, that will be a free kick. Cynical challenge by Grace Eady. It's a nice touch inside the defender by Sibley, and then she got wiped out. Chance from a free kick then for Newcastle. Potts and Furness, the two central defenders, both in the box. It's a high one, it's in towards Furness, and a big chance, and she's unable to hit the target with. And that's twice Rachel Furness has been a menace to the Newcastle, to the Sunderland defenders in the penalty area. Both times she's missed the target, and that was the better of the two opportunities. Watt sweeps up and then leads it forward. Furness with an important touch to take it away from Dale. Stops. Potts sends it forward. Stays with some nice footwork, and here is Hales. So Sibley. McAteer does well. Back defending, and Edie finds McAteer, who was fouled. Furness back to Moan, who takes no chances and clears it away first time. No foul given. And Lumsden is on the charge here for Newcastle. That's a good ball to pick out. Body, whose cross is headed away. An important flick by Goddard, with Hales just behind her. Good defending by the towering central defender. Needed every millimetre of her height there. Over 6 foot, Amy Goddard. This corner to be taken right in front of those travelling Newcastle supporters. It's a high floating one that Furness gets her head to. Stokes puts it back into the Sunderland half. Here is Potts. Hales brings it under control. Good work defensively. Here just gives possession away. And the effort dragged wide. And Lumsden with some nice footwork at the edge of the box. I think taking on the shot was probably the wrong decision there. Had plenty of support in the box. Very tight on the Women's Championship table. Sunderland having picked up 4 points from their first 4 games. Newcastle have fared a little bit better with 2 wins, a draw and a defeat. It's Birmingham City that currently sit top of the table, but they have played a couple of games more than most of the other teams. Both of these clubs desperate to be among the elite in that Women's Super League. It's fired in by Potts. well defended. Lumsden can't bring it under control. Brown clears it away. Sent high up into the sky by Kitching. There's a touch from Goddard. It's controlled well by Scarr. And she was clipped. And free kick given the way of Sunderland. Scored 7 goals in 21 appearances in the Championship last season, Emily Scarr. Found the net 8 times in 19 matches the previous season. Yet to find the net in this campaign, though. Finds herself playing a slightly deeper role in front of the defence this afternoon. Opportunity here for Kitching. She got the shot away, but wasn't able to generate the sort of power on it she'd have hoped. Ended up stabbing the ball towards goal instead of putting her foot through it. It was comfortable for Moan. You can hear the reaction from the supporters for Claudia Moan. Lots of unhappy people that she decided to make the move across the northeast in the summer. She was crowned the Championship Player of the Year last season. She was so important to Sunderland in their near bid to win promotion. Ernest moves it forward. Ping pong until Furness brings it under control. Here's Lumsden. Beth Lumsden with the chance and the goal! Super finish from Lumsden. And it's Newcastle that take the lead here at the Stadium of Light on Derby Day. She goes to celebrate in front of the travelling supporters. It was an excellent finish though, the way she cut inside the defender Kitching and then unleashed a powerful effort that gave Demi Lambourne no chance. Second goal of the campaign for Beth Lumsden. And it's a big one in a huge fixture for Newcastle. You have to say, Newcastle have had the better of the play in the last 15 minutes or so, without really troubling Demi Lambourne, the goalkeeper. The first real effort on target results in a goal. How will Sunderland respond to finding themselves behind at home? Charlotte Potts. Possession away. Unable to keep hold of it. Just again unable to keep hold of the ball, and here is Stobbs. Tries to find the run of Hales. It's well defended by Goddard, who came across and used her body well. And between them, Lambourne and Goddard do well to take the pressure off of the awkward position. Inspired long. Nice with the header. Stokes spoons it forward. Tackle by Potts. Sibley wins it back for Newcastle. Benton. Just too much on that ball for Dale to give chase, and it's left by Moe. Quaid. Slow challenge by Fenton. Free kick given as Jenna Deere was caught. Back to her feet, and a bit of a painful one, but she's okay. Kick launched forward. Stops under pressure. This is a opening for Sunderland, and it's a good save by Moan as it was slipped into Dale. He hit the target. The goalkeeper did well. And a free kick given the way of Newcastle. This is the opportunity. Good run by Eleanor Dale, timed to perfection. But Moan made herself big, and it was a good save from the Newcastle goalkeeper. She's made a couple of important stops in this first half, one in the very early stages when Mary McAteer was put through, and a moment to go from Eleanor Dale. Did well to come across and take the ball away for Sunderland. Picked up by Scarr. The Play is brought back for the foul. Body gets talking to. And Kitching, who won the free kick, will take it. It's a good delivery from the Sunderland point of view. It's a high one that is punched away by Moan. The break is on here as Hales picks it up. Fenton lost out. She tried to recycle possession. Here's Furness. Finds the beat of the goal scorer Lumsden. Simply with the turn. Just run out of room. With the header, balls for Hales. Well done by Stapleton. On loan from West Ham at Sunderland, Jesse Stapleton. Republic of Ireland international. On by Dale. Here is McAteer. Looking to twist her way into some space for a cross, and she's done ever so well. Now the ball goes into the penalty area. It's towards Fenton, it's cleared away. Picked up by Edie. And now here's Scarr. And it's just over the bar. Dale unable just to guide the header on target. Much better though from Sunderland from an attacking point of view. Did well to beat Furness in the air. She just couldn't find a target. Eleanor Dale. Furness under pressure. It's good pressing from Sunderland as they try to win the ball up high. Dealt with it well, though, the experienced Rachel Furness. Stokes under pressure, but she gets the ball forward. It will be a free kick. Kitching. Just a little bit keen in the challenge. One back by Fenton. And this sweeps to clear it away for Newcastle. Fenton again in the middle of the park. And Diaz ball forward. Nicely done by Body. Challenged by Kitching, but Newcastle still in possession. Here is Hales. She's slipped her marker. Well, Shania Hales. Burns. Ball into the channel was easily dealt with. Barclays it forward. Well, as we approach half-time, it's Lumsden's goal that is the difference. It has been a closely contested first half. Sunderland have had opportunities, but Claudia Moan has been equal to the shots on target so far. Dale concedes the free kick. Talking about Olivia Watt. Here's Emily Scarr. It will be a free kick. Can they find an equaliser before half-time? Katie Kitching will deliver this free kick. There'll be a cross into the box. It's a poor one. Didn't beat the player at the edge of the area. But Hales has given possession away. Chipped forward by Fenton. Here is Kitching. In fact, it was Emily Scarr out there, and while she was hoping it was going to be a throwing the way of Sunderland, it's been given the way of Newcastle. Stokes' throw. Furness volleys it high up into the air. Stapleton sends it towards the edge of the Newcastle box. It's again easily cleared, and now it's controlled by McQuaid. And it's forward to Sibley. Good run. It's Hales who was marked well. Was unable to take the shot on in her stride. Still Newcastle with possession though, and Stokes into Stobbs, and that's too close to Demi Lambourne. You can see it. Well, there's no doubt that Becky Langley will be the happier of the two head coaches at half-time. Under a high-pressure atmosphere, both sides have certainly not shrivelled, but it's the visitors that have that precious 1-0 lead. Bounced awkwardly and bounced away from Goddard, who came across and made sure that Lumsden wasn't going to beat her. The referee said she did it in a fair way as well. Here's Kitching. Scarr is challenged by Stokes, but it's a Sunderland throw. A minimum of 3 minutes to be played at the end of this enthralling first half at the Stadium of Light. Ball whipped in and it's beyond everyone. Dale unable to keep it in play. Just too much on Jess Brown's cross. Potts sends it forward. Stapleton with the header. Goddard with the touch as well. Bouncing about like a ping pong ball. And eventually there's a foul. Sibley penalised. Newcastle throw. Rather fizzling out this first half. Hales goes out of room but wins the throw. There's the half-time whistle on a record-breaking afternoon here at the Stadium of Light. A new record for a Women's Championship fixture in terms of attendance. It's Beth Lumsden's goal that is the difference between these two rivals at the break. Her finish beyond Demi Lambourne. Sunderland have had opportunities, but Claudia Moan has been equal to them, particularly from McAteer and Dale. At the break, it is Newcastle that have the advantage. Half-time, Sunderland 0, Newcastle United 1. Plays back out here at the Stadium of Light. Newcastle United with that 1-0 lead given to them by Beth Lumsden. And they have made a change at the break. Hannah Greenwood has replaced Rachel Furness. So another player who is familiar, very familiar with football in the North East, Hannah Greenwood, having spent most of her career with Durham before moving to Newcastle a couple of seasons ago. On to experience a Wear Tyne derby for the first time. Not sure whether it was an injury issue with Furness or not, but she seemed to play pretty well in the first half for Newcastle. But Becky Langley making that change during the half-time interval. It's the same 11 that started the game for Sunderland as they look to try and find themselves back into the game from the early stages, and it was McAteer's shot that forced Moan into action. They certainly carried plenty of threat throughout the first half, Sunderland, but when they have found the target, Claudia Moan against her former club has been in fine form. It's the Newcastle supporters that were in greater voice throughout the first half, with their team in the lead. Hales loses out in the challenge. Will not quite trickle out of play, and under pressure Stapleton has to put it out for a Newcastle throw that they take quickly. Here is Hales. Now to Sibley. Hales doesn't really have anyone to pick out in the box, so she plays it short. Now Hales again, and this time the cross is blocked and it's behind for a corner. Grace Heady had to come across and make the sliding interception. Early corner for Newcastle in this second half. And it's one that has gone all the way in! Well, the celebrations as the Newcastle players head straight to Beth Lumsden. And it's a second for Beth Lumsden. Don't think it takes a touch, it does go all the way in. One that was difficult for Demi Lambourne to deal with under pressure. And Beth Lumsden scoring from the corner, it's not something you see too often. And what a day to provide that bit of brilliance. Amongst all of that, Jenna Deere was yellow carded for Sunderland. I think the Sunderland players felt there was a foul on the goalkeeper. It was Body and Stobbs who were in close attendance to Demi Lambourne, and the Sunderland stopper needing some treatment. What a goal from Beth Lumsden. And what a start to this second half for Newcastle United. And the outlook of this game now looks a lot more rosy for the visitors. They had that cushion. Best laid plans from the half-time team talk could have already gone out of the window for Mel Ray on her side. And one thing that they have on their side is plenty of time to try and get back into this. But it's an uphill battle from 2 goals down. Here's Stokes. Goddard nicks it away for Sunderland. You can see her flying in with the challenge, but here come Newcastle as it's played into the path of Hales. Being faced with Goddard. And Body's cross takes a deflection. It's going to be another corner. And every time that Sunderland have had had to defend set pieces, they've looked at 6s and 7s. Newcastle had some good opportunities from corners in the first half. It's another high one towards the back post, and this time there is a foul. Lambourne launches it long. Stobbs wins the header. Here's Hales. And now the chance to break, maybe it just bounced away from Dale. Stokes flicks it on. Hales can't bring it under control. No free kick given as Scarr went down. Lumsden slips and Dale sprinting to get onto this. Being held up by Greenwood. And it's out off for Greenwood and it's a Sunderland corner. Can Sunderland make this set piece pay? It's a high corner and it's headed off target by Stapleton. Huge opportunity to pull one back. Jessie Stapleton just unable to control her header. That was a glorious opening, though, for Sunderland. Lambourne under pressure, and it's not the greatest of kicks as it goes out. Brown unable to keep it in play. Newcastle with their tails up at the moment. Potts. Greenwood. I'll let Potts again. The two central defenders happy to keep possession and play the ball about between them. Now a touch for the goalkeeper, Moan. Potts sends it forward, body under pressure, but as well swept up by Watt. Now here's Stobbs driving it forward for Newcastle. Here's Lumsden on a hat-trick, remember. His shot was blocked. Kitching lays it to Brown, who clears it forwards. Dale beaten in the challenge by Potts. And here's McQuaid. Now Sibley, just over the head of Hales. McQuaid unable to bring it under control. Fenton. Well, Newcastle pressing high and winning possession well. Got on with an important touch there. There's been huge expectation around this Newcastle United team. Working alongside Paul Mitchell. Becky Langley has assembled an impressive squad for Championship level. Promotion is the aim. Here's Stokes. Rolled across to Sibley. Just got crowded out. Really would have been better to lay the ball off to a teammate. McAteer. Potts able to pick up the loose ball. Hales. Potts. Flipped on by Stobbs, but no one beyond her. Quaid's done well to win it back. Here's Hales. Good save by Lambourne. Lovely ball to pick out the run of Shania Hales. And the first time shot forcing a good save from Demi Lambourne. And the goalkeeper, who's been in the wars a little bit throughout this match, feeling something again. Demi Lambourne needing some treatment. Megan Borthwick is the substitute goalkeeper for Sunderland if needed on the bench. Hasn't played a championship game since 2022 when she was with Durham. It would be a big moment for Megan Borthwick if she was called upon. Ray giving some instructions to her side, hoping they believe that there is a way back into this match for her team. Lambourne is okay and back on her feet for the time being, which is good to see. Into the final 30 minutes. It's Lumsden's double that has given Newcastle a 2-0 lead in the derby. Kitchen does well to win possession for Sunderland. And the offside flag is up against Eleanor Dale. Moan launches it forward. Benton wins the header. Stokes picks up the loose ball. Where will this fall? McAteer goes down. There are big shouts for a penalty. And the referee took a long look at it and then said no. Much to the disdain of most of the crowd here. And now Stobbs at the other end. Stobbs' shot is blocked by Stapleton. A big decision made by Phoebe Cross. And what I think just got a touch on the ball. And another opportunity from a corner for Newcastle. The last corner from this side, Lumsden put it straight in. Can she do it again? That would be something to complete a hat-trick. It is an in-swinger, it's to the back post, and it's Greenwood who flicks it on, but she flicks it straight out. To say if she completes a hat-trick, she'll be given the freedom of Newcastle, Beth Lumsden, against their big rivals. And the cross is put into the box, but play will be pulled back because of the offside when the ball was played forward. Dale pushing to try and nick the ball away from Potts, but she finds Greenwood. Demi Stokes. Stobbs with the ball down the channel. Across comes Goddard. It'll be a Newcastle throw. Stayed in play. Here is Lumsden. Fenton will collect the loose ball. Just can't keep hold of possession for a sustained period at the moment, Sunderland. We might have the chance from this throw as Greenwood comes across and makes the challenge. It's well controlled by body. Greenwood. Stokes being forced back into her own half, but it's coolly done. And the break is on here. Well, the effort from McQuaid, tame and easy for Lambourne. She had options as well. She had Sibley and Hales in support. Went for the shot from range and would have took something stunning to score from that sort of distance. She wasn't able to produce. Here's Stokes. And the foul is given. For a moment there, looks as if Deere had just pinched it off of Demi Stokes, but free kick given. Here is Potts. Now Greenwood. Nice turn by Stobbs. And she's on the march forward. Feeds it in towards Hales. It was well defended by Brown. Well, a third goal for Newcastle would surely put this result beyond any doubt. Hales gets the return ball to Stokes, who gets the cross in, and I think it just trickled out of play and a goal kick's been given. Newcastle are going to make a change momentarily. Katie Barker being ready to come on. Body. Back to Stokes. And possession retained very well there by Newcastle. In a tight area. And they win the throw. That change will happen, but not this time. Hales. Cleared away by Brown. Well, Newcastle just happy to manage the game with a 2-0 lead as we head into the final 20 minutes. And here's that change. Katie Barker will come on to replace Isabella Sibley. Sibley still recovering from a cruciate knee injury. She came back towards the end of last season, but it's a tough injury to overcome. Yet to find her best form since that injury, but she's put in a good performance this afternoon, and another 70 minutes under her belt, and Katie Barker comes on. Another former Sunderland player in the Newcastle ranks, Katie Barker, actually made her Women's Super League debut for Sunderland as a 16-year-old. She was very impressive last season as Newcastle won promotion to this level, scoring 14 goals. Yet to get off the mark in the league this season, though. Lumsden aims it forward. And it's opening up for the shot, and it's blazed over the crossbar. Jasmine McQuaid deciding to take the effort on. Is there a grandstand finish in the offing at the Stadium of Light? At the moment, Newcastle looking very comfortable and in charge and in control with that 2-goal lead. It's going to be another change. And a first for Sunderland. Katie Kitching goes off at the other side, and it's Libby McInnes, the England youth international, who comes on to replace Kitching. Lumsden does well. Here's McCaid, trying to pick out the run of Hales. It was well marshalled by Goddard, and the offside flag is up as Dale was coming back from an offside position. There's going to be another Newcastle change. Sophie Haywood coming on to replace Shania Hales, who's worked hard as the striker leading the line. Did force Lambord into a good save in the early stage of the second half. And Sophie Haywood was another summer signing from Sheffield United, on to replace Hales. Here's Barker, wearing that famous Newcastle number 9, and she sees her cross deflector behind. Well, every corner that Newcastle have had has caused real problems defensively for Sunderland. One gets put in towards the back post again. Lambourne this time deals with it. McQuaid. She's done well, McQuaid. Now the slide challenge comes in from McAteer. And McQuaid just caught McAteer as she cleared it away. Well, the majority of this record crowd have been disappointed with what they've seen so far here at the Stadium of Light. Not been much for the Sunderland fans to cheer. Plenty if you're a Newcastle fan, though. As it's worked to Barker. Runs into the challenge, and now the ball played forward by McInnes. Hady. Sunderland throw. McAteer. The cross is put in by Fenton, and it was headed goalwards by Dale, and it took a deflection out off of Greenwood, and it's a Sunderland corner. Fenton to take. Stapleton and Goddard both up from the back for Sunderland. It's in towards Goddard. Came off the back of Potts, and Newcastle scramble it clear. Fenton delivers again, and it's an own goal. I think that came off Olivia Watt last. Gemma Deere also celebrating. Who does get the final touch? I think that is an own goal off of Olivia Watt. Deere was closest in attendance for Sunderland. Well, Emily Scarr's been credited with the goal. But Sunderland back in it. And it's a goal that was very much needed from the hosts. And they have time to try and turn this around. Oh, a crunching challenge. Stobbs is shown a yellow card for that slide tackle. Well, the goal has been credited, that Sunderland goal, with Emily Scarr down as the scorer. I have to be honest, it looked as if it was Watt who got the final touch, but even with the replay from the one angle, with what I've seen, it wasn't totally clear. It doesn't really matter who scored, it's just that they did from a Sunderland point of view, and it gives them a chance to try and turn this match around. Fenton with the free kick. It's headed away, and now McKay runs it forward. That's well done as it's played into the path of Stobbs. Rolled across. Stokes with a big chance. Good save by Lambourne. Still the danger not clear. Crucial bit of goalkeeping from Demi Lambourne, as it was rolled across to Demi Stokes. A big save by Demi Lambourne. Newcastle so close to re-establishing their 2-goal advantage. Moan launches it long. Flicked on by Barker. Potts coolly done by her. Greenwood. Wasn't the greatest of kicks by Moan. And Watts lost out in the challenge. And McAteer's shot forces the save from Claudia Moan. Bounced awkwardly in front of the goalkeeper, but she kept her eye on it. Stokes gets to the loose ball. Played up the line, and Lumsden gets a touch, but it's well marshalled by Corbyn. Well, Sunderland need to get it forward. Time running out. Still find themselves trailing by a 1-0 here at the Stadium of Light. Or by the odd goal, I should say. 2-1. Here's McAteer. Crosses hard cleared by Stobbs, and it sat up at the edge of the box, and it was a decent effort fired over the crossbar by Genadia. And Sunderland are going to make another change. Katie Watson on to replace Eleanor Dale, who goes another game without finding the back of the net. The summer recruit from Everton. And Watson, who played for Newcastle as a youngster. on to try and grab an equaliser for Sunderland. Here's McAteer. Here's the ball inside, McInnes. McAteer again. Lovely football at the edge of the box, but it's staunch defending by Newcastle, who had bodies back and they're able to clear it away. McAteer with a nice flick. And the low ball in. It's good goalkeeping. Claudia Moan able to dive on the loose ball. And Stobbs is down. And having got back to her feet, that will be her last action. Stobbs is going to walk off, and she hands over the captain's armband to Demi Stokes, and Lois Joel comes on. Wales international on to taste Wear-Tyne derby. Well, a few more seconds. Eaten down by Claudia Moan. Still time in this one though for Sunderland to find themselves an equaliser. That goal credited to Jenna Deere has made it an interesting end. Well, Stapleton had to sprint and then slide to make sure she was able to clear the ball away. Quaid wins the free kick. There's no rush from Newcastle, as you'd expect. Beth Lumsden to take this free kick. She'll be the hero for Newcastle if they're able to see this one out. Lumsden launches it into the box. It's too close to Lambourne, who gathers and then bowls it out towards McAteer. Across comes Greenwood, who just puts it out of play. The throw taken quickly. McAteer plays it down the line. Stokes deals with it for Newcastle. Watson just couldn't quite guide it back into the path of McAteer, and it'll be a Newcastle throw. How much time will be added at the end of the 90? We're hearing it's going to be at least 7 minutes. Plenty of time for Sunderland to find themselves an equalising goal. Stapleton forced just to clear it away. Body with her back to goal, ends up conceding the throw. Deer with the cross in, and it'll be a corner, and it will be a minimum of 7 minutes. And that will give the home supporters hope. They are piling the pressure on. Can Newcastle hold out? It's a decent corner. It's towards Goddard. Put back into the penalty area, headed away by Watt. And an ambitious attempt goes out of play. An opportunity for the Pigeons to come onto the pitch and feast on some grass seed. Moans kick forward. Stapleton gives it back to Lambourne. That will bounce off of body, put it out well, and it's collected by Lumsden. That was an important interception by Stapleton. Five minutes for Newcastle to hold out. 5 minutes for Sunderland to try and find a goal. Watson plays it out to win a throw for Sunderland. That'll be a free kick. Nakatia was fouled. Needs to be a decent delivery, this, from a Sunderland point of view. It's taken by Fenton. It's defended well. Joel able to run it away for Newcastle. I think the corner will probably do from a Newcastle point of view. It's played forward to Barker, and that's where she heads, and she was clipped by Stapleton. And a yellow card shown to Jessie Stapleton. And this is in a good position for Newcastle just to eat down the seconds. I'm sure this won't go into the box. It won't. It'll go into the corner. And somehow body has been caught offside, and she's shown a yellow card as well for remonstrating with the official. They made a real mess of that between the pair of them. Launched forward by Lamborn, but it's launched straight out of play. There's the break on here as it's played into the path of Watson. Good defending by Greenwood. Read the situation and came across to nick the ball away in front of Watson. And that will be a free kick. Fenton was fouled. Another chance for Sunderland to send the ball into the box. Fenton again will take this free kick. Could be the last chance. Fenton's cross. It's Moan who got a touch, and it nearly fell for Stapleton. The goalkeeper just did enough. It's kept in well by Watson. Well, initially it was. And cross straight into the side netting, and that could be that. It's been 14 years since a competitive Wear Tyne derby. And it's Newcastle that look as if they're going to come out on top. McAteer. Collected by Moan, who dives onto the ball. And there'll be no rush from her in getting back to her feet. And there is the full-time whistle. It's a famous win for Newcastle United, who not only take the 3 points, they take the bragging rights as well. A double from Beth Lumsden. Enough to see Newcastle United out on top in the Wear Tyne derby. Beth Lumsden, the hero. A late goal from Jenna Deere made it interesting. But it's Newcastle United who celebrate not only taking their 3 points, but also having the bragging rights on Derby Day, on a history-making day here at the Stadium of Light. A new record for a crowd attendance at this level. And it's Newcastle who win here. Sunderland, Newcastle United 2. Can take a look at the highlights.